Hey guys, welcome back. Today's topic is how are these tissues protected? Here, these tissues are nothing but the brain and spinal cord tissues. Now, the human brain is well protected by the skull. Inside the skull, the brain is covered by three cranial meninges. These meninges are nothing but the membranes. Okay? Here, an outer layer is called dura mater. A very thin middle layer called arachnoid, and an inner layer called pia mater. So, these are the three cranial meninges that are protecting the human brain. So, skull is protecting the brain. Inside the skull, the cranial membranes are present. They are dura mater, arachnoid, and pia mater. Here, the dura mater is the tough layer, and the pia mater is the soft layer, and this pia mater is in connection with the brain tissue. So these membranes are protecting the brain. Now, moving to the next, here the spinal cord is a long, thin tubular structure made up of nervous tissue. Here it extends from the medulla oblongata of brain to the lumbar region of vertebral column, that is backbone. Okay, so this is how the spinal cord is extending. It is extending from medulla oblongata, part of the brain stem, up to the lumbar region of the backbone. And here the spinal cord functions are, it connects the brain to nerves throughout the body, and it is a center for coordinating many reflexes and contains the reflex arcs. So here the spinal cord is acting as a relay center, okay, as it is transmitting the impulses towards the brain and away from the brain. So it is connecting the brain to nerves throughout the body, and also it is the center for coordinating many reflexes and contains the reflex arcs. And this spinal cord here is protected by vertebral column or the backbone. So backbone or the vertebral column protects the spinal cord. Now, here one more very important aspect here we speak about is cerebrospinal fluid. It is protecting both the brain as well as the spinal cord. This cerebrospinal fluid, it is a clear, colorless fluid found within the tissue that surrounds the brain and spinal cord. So this fluid is present within the tissue that is surrounding the brain and spinal cord. You can see here this picture, cerebrospinal fluid. See, these are the called ventricles. Okay, these are a set of four interconnected cavities in the brain. Okay, so interconnected cavities in brain. Okay, you can see here lateral ventricles. Okay, then third ventricle, fourth ventricles. These are the four interconnected cavities in the brain. So inside these ventricles and also in subarachnoid space, okay, so here you can see this is nothing but it is between subarachnoid membrane and the pia mater. Subarachnoid space is between, it is between arachnoid and pia mater. Okay, so between these two membranes, the space is called subarachnoid space. In this subarachnoid space and the ventricles, the cerebrospinal fluid is present. This is very, very important. And this cerebrospinal fluid, it circulates in the subarachnoid space around the brain and spinal cord and in the ventricles of the brain. Just now I discussed the subarachnoid space is between the arachnoid and pia mater, and the ventricles are the interconnected cavities in the brain. You can see here, these are the lateral ventricles. This is the third ventricle, and here is the fourth ventricle. So these four ventricles, and here the subarachnoid space, which is between the arachnoid and the pia mater, they are filled with this cerebrospinal fluid. And here this cerebrospinal fluid acts as a cushion and providing basic mechanical and immunological protection to the brain inside the skull. Okay, so this cerebrospinal fluid is protecting both the brain as well as the spinal cord. So as a whole, brain is protected by the cranial meninges found inside the skull and the cerebrospinal fluid, and then spinal cord is protected by the cerebrospinal fluid and the backbone or vertebral column. So the bony structures like cranium and the backbone and the fluid structure called cerebrospinal fluid are protecting the brain and spinal cord. So this is how the tissues of brain and spinal cord are protected. This is all about today's topic. I'll be back with more sessions. Have a great day. Thank you all.